day 4 of our gathering devotionals this week comes out of Acts chapter 2, verses 42 through 47. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe at the many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. All the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people. And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. This is a wonderful part of Scripture that talks about the early church. You see, the church was God's way of spreading the good news. Jesus had helped establish the church, and now Pentecost came and it started the church, and this is just after the disciples received their promise we talked about a couple of days ago from the Father. Now they're together as a church. They're a community of believers. They have something in common, and that is their salvation through Jesus Christ. That salvation we've talked about makes us a part of a family. They did everything together. They discipled one another. They fellowshiped with one another. They shared property with one another. They met together for worship. They ate together. They ministered to one another. We're a part of that same family. Somebody was visiting our church a few weeks ago. It was a young couple. They were new to Waxahachie. And as I went up to them, I was thinking, what would I have in common with them? And so I began to talk with him, and I just thought that he looked like a hunter. So I said, do you do any hunting? And he began to immediately pay more attention in the conversation rather than just thinking, here I am at church, and this is a new church, and what do I do? We talked about how our church has a group of guys that go out duck hunting together, and I had gotten that group together. We go every year. And so he immediately said, that's a great thing. And then I was asking him about sports, and he said, love sports. I said, well, our church has softball teams, and if you want to play softball, let me know. And he looks at his wife and he says, honey, we're joining this church today. They've got hunting and softball. You know, whatever it is you have in common, it's important that you would look for people, especially new people that are coming to our church. We want to be friendly and we want to reach out to people, but as you begin to talk to them, you might have something in common with them. That's what draws you together. Sometimes I don't have much in common with somebody, but I can already think about somebody else in our church who enjoys woodworking, and I can put them in touch with one of our men that likes woodworking, who enjoys quilting, and I can put them in touch with somebody else that enjoys that. But whatever it is, I find things in common. That's what's important. It's helping to get people plugged in to the church so that they can be a part of our family, and then they can do those many things that we do together, including ministry and worship and fellowship and all of those. This week, reach out to someone. Find something in common with them. Invite them to church.